LoZ New Comic Book Day!
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another LoZ NCBD. That would be the Legion on Zoom's New Comic Book Day. I enunciated the shit out of that for 7/14/2021. Miguel, enlighten us, por favor.
Yes, we have some great fucking picks for this week, but actually, we'll pass it on over to Ches because we're going to start off with some DC recommendations. And as we've said before, right, there's a lot of books coming out all the time from all these awesome companies. We don't have the money to buy them all, but we do have money for subscriptions for DC Universe Infinite, Marvel Comics Unlimited, where they come out 3 months late usually. And so some of them we're waiting to read there. And so despite all the awesome DC books that are coming out, I think there's like a Detective Comics coming out with Dan Mora and Mariko Tamaki. Great read. We're kind of waiting for them to a little bit read Comixology Unlimited. We have to make choices. These are hard. Yeah. But Ches has made the choice to read Joker #5. What's good, man?
Well, so for now, I am about, I want to say 3 issues in, because I like to keep at least one in the chamber, because I have the thing where if you catch up 100%, then you're frothing at the mouth for the next issue. And I fucking hate that. So I developed this system where I have a comic I've yet to read and the one that's coming out at all times. So like I'm kind of up to date, but not really. So
that's
far,
actually just before you move on, that's actually a good argument for the apps, you know, because it's kind of the same idea like with Netflix, right? And you know, HBO Max, you know, some people probably have to watch, like, well, we review every episode of Loki as they come out, right? I'm sure there might be people out there waiting for a few episodes to pile up to then binge, you know. So if you're more of the binge, you got to wait for a little bit. You can either buy them and then wait to read them later, or just wait till they're dropping on the app.
Facts. So I choose with the path that always goes with just like a little bit of suffering, so I could always just build some character. So
as you're in the red room right now, man.
Facts, exactly. So this fucking comic book series is insane. So just to give people maybe Rod could fill in some holes where I can't. So after the events of the Joker War, the Joker became one of the most wanted people on the planet, as if he wasn't all the fucking time. So apparently someone gassed Arkham to frame the Joker to make it look like it was him, killed a member of the family of the Court of Owls, a member of the Samson family. And so there's these few factions that are after the Joker. The Court of Owls has contracted Jim Gordon and sent them to kill the Joker, who's hiding at one of these resorts that apparently is like a secret underground chain that houses all the supervillains where they want to lay low. So there's like a 5-star underground Sheridan for supervillains that houses them and shit. Nice. They don't want to be active. So the Joker's being hunted by the whole Court of Owls, the Samson family, which is apparently like a whole family from Texas, like that they're cannibals or some shit like that. I think they're Batman villains. I don't know if you heard of them before, Rod, but they seem to be pretty epic. And then Bane's people from Santa Prisca, the Banies, I don't know what to call those scientists because they all wear the Bane mask. They've created some new female Bane type super soldier to send her after the Joker as well. So you got 3 factions that are coming after the Joker, and all bets are off. That's where I'm going to leave that. In the last issue I read, Gordon actually found the Joker, and there's basically an army of fucking people just coming to kill them both. This series is insane. I'm all in. And it's written by Sam Johns and James Tynion IV, apparently from some Game of Thrones lineage.
James Tynion IV, he's been known for writing Batman and Detective Comics. So he's got his Gotham Bat family cred established. So I'm glad you mentioned this, because honestly, I've been wondering what's up with James Gordon. So he's working for the Court of Owls right now, because I'm also confused. In the Batman comics, he's not the commissioner anymore. It's Harvey Bullock who's the commissioner. I lost track at some point what happened. I think last I remember, James Gordon was one of the infected from the convoluted, complicated Scott Snyder Justice League stuff that had como se dice, the Batman Who Laughs from the Dark Multiverse, from that metal event, the first one that came to this main Earth on DC Comics, infected six, I think it was. Shazam was one of them. Supergirl was another. Blue Beetle was another one. Hawkman was another one. That became like evil versions of themselves, and James Gordon was one of them as well. And so obviously they all got, I don't know how, I just stopped. I lost interest. I'm assuming they came back to, so probably that's why he's not the commissioner anymore, but he's working for the Court of Owls. What the fuck?
Dude, it's bananas. Like, I've chosen to follow some wild ass books in between this and the Suicide Squad and Way of X. Whoa, I'm reading some crazy shit, but fuck that. Like, this book, dude, just go check it out. The Joker is the shit, because it features also Gordon breaking down the Joker in depth. Like, when I was reading issue like 3 or 4, like issue 3, like it kind of hit me, like the way he was breaking down the Joker kills just as a consequence of who he is. It's not like, oh, I'm gonna murder this person. It's like him being the Joker causes other people to die. Let that shit marinate for a sec. Read this fucking book, bro. It features Gordon just like, oh my god, it's such a good book. It's such a good book. Wow.
Yo, all right. Well, that's your DC pick of the week from the LoZ. Go buy it right now. Go read it. Besides that, we got a couple of Marvel recommendations. The one recommendation we're doing, lukewarm, hesitantly. I've talked to you. I'm the biggest Spider-Man fan fucking here of the LOC. Nick Spencer's been writing Spider-Man, who took the reins after Dan Slott's amazing tenure on Spider-Man. And I'm not loving it. I'm not a big fan of it, but it's leading up to a big event that's going to, I think, end in August. That then it seems Peter Parker may die, and then this new creative team, and Ben Reilly's going to come back as Spider-Man. And a big event begins today. It's the Sinister War, which sounds kind of cool. Sounds kind of gimmicky, but cool. So the idea of the Sinister War, first of all, it's illustrated by Mark Bagley. All right, so that's all right. Come on,
I love that guy. It's one of the greatest Spider-Man artists of all time.
Yo, and
Top
he was the
three
main
for
one.
sure.
He main one for the Ultimate one, right?
Yeah, the Ultimate Spider-Man. He did the entire run with Brian Michael Bendis. Maybe some annuals. He stepped out, and that's when Stewart. I'm gonna butcher his last name, but
Immonen.
Yeah, he did some good work there. But yeah, Mark Bagley, and he was great in the '90s too. That's probably one of the reasons why I love his art so much, because of the nostalgia factor.
Yes, no, exactly. Come on, like Mark Bagley is one of those classic fucking artists. He's worked all the main
still working
book, and he still and hasn't like lost a bit, a beat. He's still fucking good. So he's gonna be illustrating this main book written by Nick Spencer, though, where it's basically two Sinister Six teams up against each other. So Dr. Octopus is back as like a villain, which also I'm a little bit disappointed about. I kind of want to see what's going to happen, because I really love what Dan Slott did with that character, because he became Spider-Man and then not, and then got reborn in Spider-Man clone body, but then got reborn back into his own body. But he kind of grew and learned. I really loved him as Superior Spider-Man. But he's back as full-on Dr. Octopus, and he's forming his own Sinister Six. But apparently Vulture, a member of the Sinister Six, is making his own Sinister Six called the Savage Six, which I think we saw it before in another story that was by Nick Spencer too. So we're going to have these two factions fighting each other, and it's going to have Spider-Man involved. And so it's like, okay, I'm intrigued.
Does Vulture have anybody notable?
Wait,
like who's on his team?
For the record, just based on name, sans context, would you rather be in the Sinister Six or the Savage Six?
The Savage Six.
Me too. Same here.
Because Sinister implies that you have like evil motives, but if you're savage, you can go either way. Like, you're unpredictable.
You're just savage.
Yeah.
Savage Six.
I think they're gonna win based off of that.
All right, cool.
Unless there's secretly a Sinister Six within the Savage Six.
Damn!
Oh, you're writing the story right now for people.
I'm coming for your job.
Yeah. So the members of the Savage Six. Oh, actually, yeah, they came out in the Great Hunt storyline, which wasn't that bad. Actually, it was kind of cool by Nick Spencer, that had Kraven the Hunter coming back. And he was hunting basically all these animal-like villains characters, like Rhino for it and Vulture and
I want to read that. That's lit.
Yeah, it was kind of cool, and obviously Spider-Man gets involved, right? And so the Savage Six is basically all animal-like villains of rogues galleries of Spider-Man. So it's obviously Vulture, it's Scorpion, it's Rhino, it's and then there's these other characters that I don't remember their name, and I'm trying to find them right now here. Oh, okay, it's Tarantula, Stegron, and King Cobra.
Who's Stegron?
Yeah,
there you go.
Is your horse?
No, it's like one of the dinosaurs.
What? I've never heard of that character in my life.
Deep cuts.
Fuck.
God, yeah.
Yeah.
Like in King Cobra was, I think, from the one of those like pseudo like hand or one of those weird organizations from back in the day, like Cobra.
Yeah.
Cobra. Yeah. I think that was the organization. Or the serpent something. I don't know.
The Serpent Society?
Serpent Society.
There are too many snake themed villains.
I know.
I thought the Serpent Society was from DC.
Yeah, it is. Right.
Well, then something else. I don't know.
Hydra.
It's one of those. Yeah. Exactly.
Yo, fuck these animal people.
Yeah. So that's the Savage Six, and for the Sinister Six is basically the remaining one, and I think they're gonna add new ones because obviously Vulture is has his own thing, and I don't remember Rhino was part of the Sinister Six too, right?
Yeah.
And so was Scorpion, right?
I have a feeling that the Sinister Six are gonna be like the refined evil dudes.
Yeah.
Like the highly educated because they're sinister.
Yeah. All right, so that's our recommendation for the Spider-Man one. Let's check it out. Let's see what's good. But other than that, then besides that, for Marvel, we have the last pick, Way of X #4. We've been talking about this book. Ches got into it. Highly fucking recommended. Written by Simon Spurrier and illustrated by Bob Quinn. It's about Nightcrawler and Legion on Krakoa. They're the only ones that know that Onslaught, the combined fucking psyche baby of Magneto and Xavier, like all the worst parts of those two powerful fucking, thought leaders of the mutant world combined into this one epic villain, is back in doing shit at Krakoa, and they're trying to figure it out while at the same time, right? Nightcrawler is trying to understand this new culture that they're building now that they're basically immortal, right? And so what does that mean for the soul? What does that mean for your value for living and death, and this very philosophical, theological almost take to it? It's awesome. It's such a fucking good book. And so we have the next one coming out today, #4. This is just kind of building off more. Nightcrawler just gripping with all these things, and trying to figure out how to stop Onslaught.
That dude, I am fucking in love with that series. I haven't read issue 3 yet, so I'll be reading it probably before today, most likely. So I could definitely enjoy #4, and I'm all in. And just a quick side note for fans, in true Joker fashion, of course, that freaking Joker book I first spoke about doesn't drop on Wednesday. It actually dropped yesterday because it's a Tuesday book. So it's an agent of chaos because it could have just fucking dropped on Wednesday. But there you go. It's on Tuesday. So if you're hearing this today, buy that shit now because it came out yesterday. So
yes, recommend this. Go check these books out. And from that, we move on out to the digital side. We got to give a shout out to DC Universe Infinite drops that came out yesterday on Tuesday. And one of the recommendations that we have, the recommendation that I have is, this is a book that I've been curious about. It's called Generation Shattered, #1. It's written by Daan Jurgens, Robert Venditti, and Andy Schmidt. And it's illustrated by a bunch of people. Ivan Rice, John Romita Jr., and a bunch of others like Rag Morales and like even Daan Jurgens himself. I don't know. It's weird. It's a funky a story. I don't really know. It's apparently versions of heroes and villains were taken at different points in their timeline. Like for instance, we have Batman, but we have Batman that's like year 1 or year 2 Batman. I think it's year 2 Batman. He's one of the main people in this group that some force pulled to make them join. It also has Kamandi, Starfire, Sinestro, Booster Gold, Dr. Light, Steel, in a quest to save the universe before time runs out. It's like, okay, I'm sold. And apparently it got good reviews too. So I didn't buy it when it came out like 3 months ago, but now I'm gonna read it now that it's gonna be on my fucking tablet.
That sounds dope.
Yeah, I'm gonna read that too. I'm definitely gonna read that too. I mean, I don't have much. So like Ches, I just wanted to mention this real quick. Like you mentioned, Joker dropped yesterday, and also DC Universe Infinite issues drop on Tuesday because DC kind of changed their model a little bit when they dropped Diamond Distributor during the quarantine. So yeah, so right now, and I'm gonna need some help on this one because I think that the future state happens after Dark Knights, right? It's like the After Effects story.
After what?
After Dark Knights, future state.
Oh, the Dark Knight Death Metal.
Yeah, Death Metal.
Yes.
Is that like the post story, like the?
No, so it's weird. So because Dark Knight's Death Metal kind of like reset kind of the universe, the multiverse in a way.
Fuck.
And then what happened? Then they kind of came back to regular timeline stories, and then Future State is supposed to be set in the near future. And we don't know if it's so. All the comic books, I think this was in February. All the comic books, I think, are the main ones in DC became Future State comic books, and they're set in the near future. And we don't know, like, is it a real future? Like, I have no idea why they did it. But that's, I don't know how it all connects to the Dark Knight's Death Metal at all. Like, I don't know. It's a different creative team for sure that's running the Future State than that was Scott Snyder's baby, the Dark Knight's Death Metal.
Yeah, it made me think of like 1 year later. I think that was after Infinity War. They did like a art. They just like jumped, not Infinity War. No. Infinite Crisis.
Infinite Crisis. Yes.
Damn. Yeah, they jump back.
Yeah,
Marvel. They jump forward a year. So yeah, my point in bringing that up was because not all the Future State books, but a big chunk of them are dropping or are already on the app now. I see Future State, the next Batman, Harley Quinn, the Flash, Swamp Thing, which is still the book club pick number 2. So if you haven't started reading Alan Moore's Swamp Thing, check it out.
Word.
Also, it's funny because there's like, it was written in the late 80s, I think. So there's some cancelable things that he writes in there. I want to see if you guys can pick them up because I laughed, I giggled to myself.
We out. Hashtag cancel Alan Moore.
All right, we're gonna start it. Cancel Alan Moore. Yo, he doesn't care. He canceled himself. He's like, I'm out. That's it.
Alan Moore, do our show.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh my god.
I'd be scared, but I'm with it.
I'd be scared too.
And lastly, I'm not reading this, but it looks like something that I will check out in the future. The Dreaming, which is like a sequel book to Neil Gaiman's Sandman. Issue number 6 of Waking Hours is also dropped. But yeah, those are my recommendations.
I'm gonna check those out too because I've been hearing good things about the Dreaming. It's a sequel in a way to Neil Gaiman's Sandman, and I think a big thing too is that he's allowing other writers to just run with these characters as well. So that's exciting.
Yeah, we got that news during Fandom, and speaking of comic book events, so this past weekend, New York Comic Con tickets went on sale.
Word.
Yeah, and we slacked here at the LoZ. We're slackers.
We in there
as a profession.
I said we would have slacked if we would have missed it completely, but we're in there.
Yeah, we're in there. We'll be there Thursday. So
exactly. So, people out there, if you're local, if you're not, if you're traveling to these, we're heavily vaccinated in New York City, so you're gonna be safe. I think we're at like 80% or something by October. Will be great. Although I think immunity wanes after 6 months, whatever, the vaccine, who cares? Anyway, everyone's gonna be here. You could come out. We're gonna be there on Thursday. We're gonna try to crash other days as well. And give us, say hi if you see us, man. We'd love to chat and hang out.
Listen, man, the LoZ is waxed and vaxxed, and we're going to Comic-Con.
Yes.
Yes.
We're
gonna have to wax again though as the Date draws near.
Yeah, I'm sure, like there's maintenance involved, but the point is by then we'll still be waxing backs.
Hell yeah. Freshly waxed that day. Shit.
Yeah, word. Facts. And there you have it, folks.
Shit.
Dr. Seuss is the man. Shout out to Dr. Seuss. All right, folks, there you have it. Fucking those are the weeklies. Buy shit, read shit, so we could keep getting shit. There you go. I think that's the final form. And on that note, I'm Chaz.
Yeah, Miguel. Peace.
Bye.